the Olympic Indoor Hall. It's regular season Group C action between AEK and CEZ Nymburk. Good evening and welcome to everybody, wherever you're watching this around the world. It's Basketball Champions League action. It's the last game day before the festive break. And what a really intriguing game we have here for you this evening. It's top of the league, it's top of the group in AEK Athens and the defending Basketball Champions League champions against CEZ Nymburk, who find themselves at the moment at the bottom of the league. So these are the scores so far. Lichterbillis losing to Jerusalem, and Telenet Giants Antwerp beating Montikit Fuenlabrada. So AEK Athens and Jerusalem were fighting it out for top spot. So with that win yesterday, Jerusalem may well have gone ahead of AEK. Depending what AEK Athens do today, they will return to the top of the league. And that is the case. Jerusalem, after 9 games, are 7-2. AEK, after 8 games, are 7-1. If we go down to the bottom, CEZ Nymburk, after 8 games, are 2-6. Now these teams met on game day 2 and had an extraordinary battle in the Czech Republic. Double overtime it took to separate these teams. And Ruben, who's the main playmaker, one of the main players for CEZ Nymburk, 25 points in 44 minutes and 9 rebounds, assisted by Bocek. And this is the CEZ Nymburk. I'll come back to that shortly. This is the CEZ Nymburk roster for tonight. They've just picked up Glenn Closey, and they've recently picked up Mike Myers as well. But Bocek, Ruben, Martin Kriz, Paterka, Eugene Lawrence. Watch out for those guys, and also watch out for that gentleman, Vince Hunter, number 32 for AEK Athens, and the player with his back to us there, Dusan Sakota. In fact, wherever you look in this AEK Athens roster, and they have strengthened it from last season. They really have. And here is the roster for tonight. Sakota, Jonas Mačiulis, the Lithuanian legend, Raythan Mays, Howard Semruz, who played for CEZ Nymburk in the Basketball Champions League in the 2016-2017 season and was the leader in steals that season, and is putting up a lot of steals again this season as well, with 2.2 steals per game, which is an exceptional effort. CEZ Nymburk are the visitors. It was a 1-point defeat last time these two teams met. An extraordinary game. Are we going to be in for the same high drama for this game? As I say, Bocek Ruben is their points leader, but they have got some really good players, and there's Ruben coming out last. Just starting to get themselves together. They've been unlucky in the games. They've had some close losses. They've lost their last 2 games. Prior to that, they beat Fuenlabrada by 1. Whereas AEK Athens, led out by Dusan Sakota, have, after losing, and there's young Georgis Sampiris, and there's Jonas Mačiulis. After losing to Hapoel Jerusalem on the opening game day, they have got things together in the Basketball Champions League, and they are currently on a 7-game winning streak. Malcolm Griffin, who was the MVP for last week, when they beat Hapoel Jerusalem, AEK Athens. They beat them in Jerusalem, as Jerusalem had done to AEK Athens on the first game day here. They beat them 83-70. Malcolm Griffin, 28 minutes, 25 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. Vince Hunter, 16 points and 8 rebounds last week. So these guys are really players to look out for on the AEK Athens roster. Last week, CEZ Nymburk at home had a tough loss to Dijon. They played well, but they were just beaten by some long distance shooting. Some good play from Dijon, but Down the stretch, some long-range shooting from Holston. But Aruban again, 24 points in 25 minutes, and Petter Bender, 24 minutes, 12 points, 5 rebounds. Petter Bender, of course, now a veteran, and here are the referees for tonight. Sisi Gentian, Kalabishian Mehmet, and Dozai Serdan. They are the third team on the floor. And we'll look at the CEZ Nymburk starting lineup. On the road, it's desperation time now for CEZ Nymburk. They're bottom of the group. 4 groups of 8 teams make up the Basketball Champions League regular season, and it's only the top 4 that progress. There's our starters: Petter Bender, Eugene Lawrence, Jaromir Bohacik, Martin Kriz, and Wojciech Hrubin. They are desperate for wins, and there's no better place than at the home of the reigning Basketball Champions League champions. Of course, in this arena back in May, they were able to overcome AEK Athens Monaco in the final. And there's CEZ Nymburk's head coach, Oren Amil. He's been the head coach since 2017. He was the assistant coach at CEZ Nymburk before that, and has also coached at Hapoel Jerusalem and Maccabi Tel Aviv, where he was assistant coaches there. But AEK Athens have really got things together. They won at the weekend as well in the Greek League, as did CEZ Nymburk, but CEZ Nymburk have won as they won in their domestic league. Here's the starting lineup: Sakota, Machulis, Rafa Mays, Griffin and Hunter. There's no Kevin Punter now, who really helped them when he moved across last season after leaving Rosa Radom, and it really helped them to win that Basketball Champions League crown. He's of course at Bologna now. And there is Luca Banchi, previously at Rose Bamberg, and he's been with Siena. He's won the Italian league with Siena, and he was with Milano as well. And he's been the head coach of the Italian national team, under 18s and under 20s. And of course, Rose Bamberg are in this Basketball Champions League group. And there's Wojciech Hrubin. What can he deliver tonight? But he is up against some very talented players. AEK Athens have really been able to shuffle some pieces to get some experience, and some good young Americans as well. Vince Hunter, only 24, joined late on last season, but was part of the Basketball Champions League winning team, as was Larentzakis and Sakota. And there's Robertson, who brings some, Tyler Robertson, who brings some real toughness inside, averaging 3.1 rebounds per game. But Larentzakis, Sakota have been representing the Greek national teams as well. And Charis Giannopoulos has come across from Crete, where he was for the last few years, and again brings a lot of experience to this AEK Athens team, who are on a 7-game winning streak in the Basketball Champions League.
You make a quick show, quick on one, you go under and you go. You understand? Because the one is switch between you and they go in. So be ready for that. We don't switch with him. All right, all cross screen.
If you can squeeze between the screens,
okay? We start with fist.
So it's going to be interesting how CEZ Nymburk can deal with AEK Athens, who are a together team now, as you can see right there. And there's Machulis, Lithuanian Player of the Year 2015, represented his team, national team, so well over so many years. He's won the EuroLeague, he's won in Italy, Greece, and he just brings solid play, making enough right decisions and creating a real team effort. So we're here in the wonderful AEK Olympic Indoor Hall in Greece, Athens, the home of the Basketball Champions League champions. CEZ Nymburk at the bottom of this table at the moment. AEK Athens temporarily in second place behind Jerusalem, but if they win tonight, they will go back to the top. It's the top 4 teams that qualify from each group, giving us a round of 16. There's 4 groups of 8. Top 4 will go through to the round of 16 for a home and away aggregate ties, as is the quarterfinals. If you finish 5th and 6th in your group, you'll go into the FIBA Europe Cup. If you finish 7th and 8th, I'm afraid your European campaign is over for the season. So we're moments away from the Basketball Champions League. Game day 9, the last set of games before the Christmas break, Christmas and New Year break, and it is the champions, AEK Athens, who get the tip. Sakota saves the ball, and we are underway. Sit back, relax, and enjoy top level European basketball on live basketball.tv. Machulis inside to Sakota. That's a tough move. And first defensive rebound to Martin Kritz. And good running by Nymburk. They kicked it back out to Ruben, who was open for 3. And Hunter with a big rebound. He's averaging 7.8 rebounds per game and 17.5 points. He is massive for this team. As he was last season, he's continued his good work. And Sakota gets it knocked loose by Wojciech Ruben. So good start by CEZ Nymburk. They look really lively. So they lost. They played okay last week against Dijon. They just couldn't quite get across the line. But some of their losses have been close. They've just won the 2 games against Fuenlabrada. Shots up and misses, and it's still 0-0, and ticking down to the first minute, having passed by number 77, Wojciech Ruben. They will try to get him early. Good drive, penetrate, kick, Eugene Lawrence, and in and out again this time. I think that was Chris with the shot for CEZ Nymburk. And this time it's good. Xavier Raytham-Mays, Canadian, averaging 9.1 points per game. He knocks that down and gets AEK off to a 2-0 lead. And that shot's just short from Petrobenda. But offensive rebound is retrieved by Jeremy Burshik, but couldn't knock down the shot. In fact, that was Burshik, I think, who took that, possibly that earlier shot. And ball's knocked loose. Good play by CEZ Nymburk, but they just can't get the loose ball. Jeremy Burshik knocking it out of bounds. Hunter. Raytham-Mays for 3 now. It's just short. Good job by Eugene Lawrence. Gino Lawrence getting that defensive rebound. Ruben, he's just going to look to get off early. He's got good mid-range, good accuracy from behind the arc and at the free throw line. Long 2 is long, and again another offensive rebound. And they just can't make the most of getting these extra possessions. I think if they can just get a shot to go down, they will settle down. And I think we've got a good game on our hands here tonight, regardless of the group position. Sakota has got a lot of moves. That's a wonderful footwork, but he can't get it to go. And CEZ Nymburk have numbers. And before Lawrence can fire the trigger for 3, there's a foul called. And that's a nice block as well by Martin Kritz. Ruben now off the dribble. Blocked. Not in my house. And again by double block from Vince Hunter from both sides of the basket. The 24-year-old former Avtodor Saratov player in G League. And Machulis misses. Good defense without fouling from CEZ Nymburk. And it's 2-0 to the defending champions. And it still is kept alive. Great job. Now they reap the benefits. And Martin Kriz, they've got a definite game plan. That's a fantastic game plan. And the other side. That'll be on the highlight reel. Double block. Fantastic play. Vince Hunter, Basketball Champions League champion last season with Ike. And off one leg, Nowitzki-esque. It's Machulis. Baseline, Barrett, Boahich. I think they will call that, potentially. Griffin grabbed the arm. He didn't make a play on the ball. And that will be 2 shots. Let's have a look. Well, he's carried on. If he just made contact and let go, but that was in the act of shooting. I would have thought, I would be asking that question if I was Coach Amiel. Let's see what the officials decide. They're going straight to the monitor. It's an important play. Every point, every moment now is magnified in this Basketball Champions League. So much at stake. And for CEZ Nymburk, if they can't make the round of 16, which they made last year in the 2017-2018 edition, they will be wanting to get into the FIBA Europe Cup. I think it's a good call by the officials. And Barczyk knocks down the 3 throw. So they got the 2 and the free throw. So that was a good 3-point play. Good moment for CEZ Nymburk, who take the lead. And Pender thought he was going to make that. He had a nice look at left hand. The former national team player for the Czech Republic. He's been with CEZ Nymburk since 2007, so has won numerous NBLs in the Czech Republic and Cups. Sakota, deep 3 is off. Great job by Machulis. Sakota inside, driving, scoops, scoop pass, Hunter backdoor. Play is really nice from Griffin, and Bender just not able to keep up with the passing and the movement of AEK Athens. Good movement without the ball. Got to keep moving without the ball. All the best teams around the world, and in this competition in particular, just keep moving, and with willing passers on your team, it's a recipe for success. Griffin knocks down the free throws. His first 2 free throws of the competition. And long shots off, but good play by Bender. Gets it back out to Boahich. Inside, outside, Lawrence. Nice move by Eugene Lawrence, the former St. John's College graduate. Second spell with CEZ Nymburk for Eugene Lawrence, and Machulis knocks it down. Jonas Machulis averaging 7.5 points a game. Just cool as you like. Gino Lawrence just short, and Hunter tips the ball to himself, and AEK have regained the lead. Wraitham Mays hands off to Griffin, MVP for last week. Machulis. Sakota now in the post. And there's a push on Martin Kriz, who looks surprised to say the least. And it's absolutely correct. When you can get the reverse angles, and of course having 3 officials, they will, in the end, make the right call. Griffin. Nice step back jump shot, Malcolm Griffin. Carrying on his good play. Smart business getting him in, especially losing punter. And Manny Harris as well. Two really big key players for them last season, AEK Athens, and assembling these players. Of course, St. Rouge is coming in now, played previously in the Champions League for CEZ Nymburk in 2016-2017, so just getting players that can hit the ground running. They didn't in game one against Jerusalem. Luca Banchi, the coach, looked a very frustrated figure, but they've really sorted things out, and straight away St. Rouge with athletic knockaway there from the side of the rim, inside Sakota, and I think that'll be on the floor before he gets the shot up. They've got so many weapons, and with Sakota being 6'10", being able to step inside, step outside, he is a nightmare cover. This is his dad. Dragan Sakota was the head coach for last year's Basketball Champions League win, and now has moved to the front office at AEK Athens, bringing in Luca Banchi for the head coach position. Griffin hesitate, kicks, and long shot. It misses everything for St. Rouge, but Machulis very alert. Now Griffin from the top, in and out, just a touch flat. And Martin Paterka, long time CEZ Nymburk player. Oh, great finish and a slam dunk for Mike Myers. First input on the stat sheet for him. And they've almost got the steal, but now there's advantage. Machulis, can he take advantage of the advantage? And yes, he does. Knocks it down for three. Great decision and a great shot. Wide open. 8 points early for former EuroLeague winner and national team player, and was brought back into the national team for the most recent of the World Cup qualification windows. Great finish by Eugene Lawrence. Left-handed, protecting the ball. He's doing really well as early on. Machulis, he can do multiple things again for this team, same as Sakota. High screen from Sakota and Griffin. Hunter going strong all the way round. Great job, just leans in. Got past his defender, just leaned in, and left-handed finish yet again. Fundamentals. And that's fundamentally sound by Bracy Wright. Straight in the game, 34-year-old, 6'3", 11.3 points a game. And he's straight off with a quick three-pointer. And good hands by Eugene Lawrence. Being active both ends of the floor. St. Rouge. Sakota step back, but there is a whistle off. Potentially off the ball. It's getting physical inside. Let's see what happens here. Paterka just forcing his way through. Really good screen by Vince Hunter. Just stood firm. Obvious foul for Martin Paterka. But at the moment, CEZ Nymburk are coping with AEK Athens. How long will that be for? Sakota loses it. Great save. And Machulis falling out of bounds. And all the way to the hoop. Pavel Prumpla, another Czech Republic national team player. Great effort by Sakota. He's so long and skillful. And in comes Larentzakis. Jonas Laranzakis, 25. He won the Basketball Champions League last year with this team, playing for the national team, as is Sakota, who's 100% from the free throw line so far in the Basketball Champions League season. Just getting some shoelaces tied up, and Pavel from Clark is back in. Sakota, second free throw. Can he continue his perfect record from the line? Yes, he can. And there's a bit of fingernail biting going on already by Coach Emil. Both teams 100%, but Ike have 3 more free throws. Really, again, that's why St. Ruza, one of the reasons he gets steals, got long arms, very active hands. And Sakota, not quite the slam, but basics, dropping it over the front of the rim. And heads up play from Ike Athens. A minute remaining in the first. Penetrate, kick, 3 is up, 3 is good. Martin Paterka having a good season, 8.9 points per game on the Basketball Champions League season. Laranzakis nearly lose it, great retrieval. Griffin, number 23. Against Glenn Cozy, who they've just signed, CEZ Nymburk. Shot short, Cozy with the rebound, quick outlet. Here comes CEZ Nymburk, but it's too casual. Got to finish those on the road. Bracey Wright missing that. He will be frustrated, and I'm sure he'll want to help with a good defensive sequence here. Griffin. And Bracey Wright just does enough, and CEZ Nymburk can have the last possession of the quarter and can take the lead with a 2-point score. Shot clock running down. Now they go, and right into the defense. There is a whistle. 3 Ike players were around Glenn Cozy. There's St. Ruth's first foul, and I think that looked as if it was on the floor. Maraitis in, just 19 years old, and also Yaris Dianopoulos came across this year from the Creighton Kings. So time is running down. Cozy up, misses, still time, and the finish right at the end. They're going to check the Myers with the finish. Good offensive rebound. They will check the monitor to see if time had expires, and I think it had. Good effort though. Good intention by number 24, Mike Myers. So the first quarter is in the book. Ike lead 20-19. Looks as though the clock is down to zeros. Well, they'd have to take it back. It looks as though that is the correct call is no score. Here's the stats from the first quarter. Ike, 50% from 2, leading the way. Both teams in that respect, 22% and 25% from 3, and both teams 100% from the line. Sakota with some great footwork there. Just couldn't get it to finish. Ruben, and there's the block by Hunter. This is big time defense. Not in this house, not in the Olympic Indoor Hall, not at the home of the Basketball Champions League champions. And he was part of that team. And that's nice play, just good hustle by Martin Kriz. Kriz averaging 3.6 rebounds per game. But CEZ Nymburk have been really active on the offensive glass And their coach is going to be very happy with that. And that was Myers knocking down. And Machulis, he's had a good first half. Machulis with 8 points leads AEK Athens. And just a selection of scores. Eugene Lawrence with 4, but it's been a real team effort of scoring from CEZ Nymburk, trying to hang on to the coattails of AEK Athens, who've been flying in this group. 7-game winning streak, nice tap pass, that's off. Good defense there by Larentzakis, getting right up and close to the shooter in the corner there. It was Pumpla. Larentzakis, great bounce pass, but Sampouris couldn't hold it. So a turnover. And CEZ Nymburk again can try and take the lead for the first time in this game. Eugene Lawrence, Glenn Cozy, new signing, played last week against Dijon. 13 minutes, scored 4 points. 1 rebound, 1 assist. Oh, nice play until the actual shot by Larentzakis. Just couldn't get the body control right to finish. Paterka inside, but no good to Myers. Right, Myers at 6'9", gives. CEZ Nymburk some size inside there. And there's Bocic. Larentzakis. And a hard foul by Myers. That'll be 2 shots. He may have been better served, easier said than done sometimes, just keep, well, he got the bounce. If he'd actually bumped Larentzakis off balance, the refs may have called it for that, but once he'd swung his hand down, if he could have just kept his hands up there and make Larentzakis shoot over the top of him. Larentzakis is a 90.5% free throw shooter. Shows exactly why. CEZ Nymburk, just the 2 wins in this group as some pressure comes. And Bender passing it over the top of the key. Yeah, but they got the job done. Glenn Cozy. To Bender. Former national team player. Long-time CEZ Nymburk servant. Cozy, still Cozy, great pass. Myers, up, under. He just can't get it to finish. Great footwork. Got the defense up. I guess it was Hunter the way he is reacting, but he just couldn't. If he could have just had a soft touch with the left, whoops, hand. Great step through, and then he ended up trying to finish with the right hand, and but everything else was done really well, and he gets a foul on Hunter, which is good for any team coming here. Myers 75% from the free throw line, misses the first though. And the second. It's not good on the road, even more so. Got to knock those down. Howard St. Ruse to Larentzakis. Greek national team player, Basketball Champions League champion. Sampouris. Penetrate kick, good quick ball movement. Long 3 is just off. That's good defense there. They defended the pass inside and penetration, forced the kick out, and then it was a contested long 3. So CEZ Nymburk doing a good job, hanging tough, and back comes Gino Lawrence, who had a good first quarter. With 4 points, 2 assists and a rebound. So he can give them a spark. Peter Bender had a good game last week, as we see him on screen there. 12 points in 24 minutes, 5 rebounds, 1 assist. So CEZ Nymburk have just won the 2 games. They beat Venlabrada and they've beaten Antwerp in this group. Paterka for 3 is just short. He had a really good look there. The Czech international, he's going to take it inside. Jump stop, kick, shots up and just off. Good offensive rebound. Really good play by Petra Bender. And CEZ Nymburk are hanging tough and doing what they can to disrupt the AEK Athens Basketball Champions League machine. Robertson's in the game. Offers himself up high, then goes towards the free throw line. Dives off the screen, shots up and off by Dimitris Moraitis. Way off. Boachik steps through. Beautiful move. They wanted a travel, but I think that looked good. And CEZ Nymburk have taken the lead against the team that are currently, or temporarily, depending if they win tonight. Oh, that is actually, that is a travel. And did the referees call it? Well, the live scores are showing 23-22 CEZ Nymburk. So the refs missed that one.
If they blitz like this, see the basketball, okay? So if they trap, we can advance the ball. Next, if we don't execute with good screens, we cannot have open catches. So if he's out, we need first to set them to use the screen, then to pop, okay?
I want Gino to be with Bracy, Mochi Peter, second line, Michigo last. Okay? We try to get, you two never come. Okay, we're just saying. You try to get him, Bracy. You try to get, make him under
There's
pressure.
the offensive rebounds, they're 8-3. If you look at the average, they're averaging 9.5 is AEK on offensive rebounds, and CEZ Nymburk averaging 10.9. And they're really getting after it. They're almost up to their average. And we're only at the 6:53 mark in the second quarter, so really active play on the road. But you've got to do things, you've got to go the extra mile on the road when you're at the bottom of a group and you're trying to get on some sort of roll yourself. But I think CEZ Nymburk are not far off. They've got good options, and they're doing this with the Haruban on the bench. The Chulis high screen just pops out. Laurenzakis. Robertson from the free throw line is short. Good rebound by Racy Wright. Boachik. Eugene Lawrence. And it's still CEZ Nymburk ball. Great atmosphere here in the AEK, the Olympic Indoor Hall. And of course the venue for the Basketball Champions League Final Four and final last May. And here is Haruban, and I just mentioned, he can score in so many different ways. Great jump stop, then he pivots back and then gets a bit of contact and fades, knocks down the shot. That was a tough, high tariff effort there. And good handoff, Robertson, good play though, forces the kick out. Laurenzakis, that's way out. What a shot, what a play, with the Haruban right in his face. Dribbles behind the back, another highlight play for the Greek international. And that is a travel, Paterka. Is that going to fire AEK Athens up? This is really good. Just gets Haruban off him. And swish. And just lets everybody know that's 3 points. Of course, he made some big three-pointers in the Basketball Champions League final. In May, made 2 or 3. And good hustle there by Robertson, and he forces Nymburk, defensive rebounder to knock the ball out of bounds. So it'll be end line play. All right, Athens, what can they create here as the game is tied at 25? And a foul away from the ball, and it's so physical underneath. And the game has been tightened up with, and again, Paterka, he just can't run through the screen. So he's created a turnover here with his... And then he's just run through that screen. He's got to try and get around it, or over it. Rathan Mays, good defense. Here comes CEZ Nymburk. Petrobenda gives it up to Eugene Lawrence. Gino Lawrence. Bender. That's a tough shot for Boashik. He likes it, but that was over a much taller Ike defender there. And Rathan Mays. Still Rathan Mays at the top. Hesitation. They're trying to do stuff off the dribble. That's not working out at the moment. Lawrence, Paterka, just short. Boashik hustling. And the crowd don't appreciate that call. But I think we're going to have a held ball, and there was plenty of hand on arm there. And Ike Athens have possession. That's the net result. Here's Alex Davis. Machulis looking for options. They just got to get back to, I think, moving without the ball, setting screens. Again, that's a tough pass. A lot of CEZ Nymburk players between, at least one player between Larentzakis and his intended recipient. I think Robertson was rolling there. That's what Robertson's doing. He's sticking to what he's good at. And look at the crowd here. But Basketball Champions League, Wednesday night in Greece. Robertson, high screen. Machulis, just short on this occasion. Good boxing out by Petrobenda. Just under 4 minutes remaining in the second. And Lawrence loves that left-hand finish, but no good this time. Howard St. Ruse. Machulis gives it back to the Cuban playmaker. Former CEZ Nymburk player. Oh, great up fake. And the penetration. Machulis, nice play. He had to go off to the right. He had to go off to his right and then had to make a floating shot. That was really good play. First the pass by Larentzakis. I don't think he has a foul. The hands were straight up by Boashik. It's a good call by the officials. And it is a timeout here. CEZ Nymburk timeout. Let's listen in.
Too fouls to give, guys. Too fouls. Use them. Let's play 5 now. Right? Play good screens. Good screens. Okay, better when you catch the ball. Look at the basket.
Fantastic atmosphere. It's a massive arena. It's difficult to fill it every single game night, but families, old and young, boys, girls, boyfriends, girlfriends, maybe, and good luck to them. And good luck to these two teams. They're putting on a really great show. And there is Jonas Machulis. Another superb pickup for Ike Athens. Won in so many different countries at all the top levels. And served his national team so well at Eurobasket's World Cups and the most recent FIBA World Cup qualifiers. He's still just 33 years old, so still plenty of time. And what a block! Robertson with a block, but really smart play But Bender can't finish. It was the anticipation that the intimidator, Robertson, was going to swat away another shot, as Hunter had done earlier. I think that's 3 blocks for Ike. I'm sure Hunter made 2 blocks earlier. Tough shot for St. Ruse. Really good defence from CEZ Nymburk, and they are standing up to the mighty AEK Athens at the moment. They're one of the 2 form teams for sure in this group, alongside Jerusalem. Offensive foul. Just the ball stuck. Got too hesitant there in the block. And this is really good defence again. Get out of here. Not in my house. And then it's 3-4, and it's a definite hook round. Good call by the baseline official. So can Ike take control in the last 2:32? Inside, Robertson spins baseline. Nothing doing. And good tip offensively, but here come Nymburk with numbers. What a bounce pass. That is top draw by Gino Lawrence. Wonderful play by the St. John College graduate. And also the Polish Cup champion. Griffin. In and out as the game is tied. Both players fighting for the rebound. Lawrence, great ball handling skills. Boacek just short. And the rebound by St. Ruse, so long and athletic, and he runs the floor. That is fantastic. Gets the rebound, runs the floor, signals for it, and Griffin, right on cue, delivers the pass perfectly so that St. Ruse didn't have to break his stride, and that's the key there. CEZ Nymburk looking a bit shoddy as they run back. It's timeout here for CEZ Nymburk.
Gino, go Gino. Go better, yeah? Okay. We run gun for Boita. And look. Okay, you got the ball.
Czech Nymburk top scorers, Boacek, Lawrence and Bender. 5, 4 and 4. So sharing the scoring. And sharing the responsibility, but AEK Athens are a very dangerous unit. And there's points in the paint. CEZ Nymburk, a few of those have come off offensive rebounds, 20-8. But there's 2 great examples, and I'm sure we'll see them again, of 2 guards with their heads up, or 2 playmakers. The overhead bounce pass by Gino Lawrence, giving Bender an easy layup, and then St. Ruse was the beneficiary of Malcolm Griffin with his heads up. I mean, Griffin is a great scorer, 9 points a game, but 2.5 assists also, and 1.6 steals per game, not to forget that. So him and St. Ruse really active on the defensive end, and a lot of their offense they get from their defense, AEK Athens. But they're finding CEZ Nymburk a tough nut to crack, and there's a quick foul on Laranzakis. And Ruben just hasn't been able to get going, but they've really keyed on him. Just 2 points, 1 of 3 from the field, but it's a good sign for CEZ Nymburk that they're still in the game. Glenn Cozy, long 2 is good. And it was Glenn Cozy who was a Polish Cup winner with Kukia Taran. Of course, Gino Lawrence has been with CEZ Nymburk. This is his 2nd time with them. So has won Czech Cups and leagues. Davis with his hand up with the foul. And the crowd and the cheers just ramp up once again. Both these teams have appeared in all 3 of the Basketball Champions League seasons. And CEZ Nymburk last season, round of 16, and AEK Athens, of course, They won it all. Larentzakis was part of that, and a strong move, and they're calling a held ball, jump ball. It'll be a possession arrow. And good job from Wojtek Ruben. Defense without fouling. So key. You want to be as active as you can. Hands up and active, shadowing the ball. And that's good play. So CEZ Nymburk have the ball, and they knock down the shot. They are looking a really potent force. Now they've picked up Cozy. He can make his own shot, along with Lawrence as well. They are looking dangerous, and they are winning by 3 here on the road. Now, AEK Athens, 3-second differential, and now CEZ Nymburk. And what are they going to call there? And it's fantastic effort by Jaris Dianopoulos. Just excellent sliding of the feet right across to the sideline. I'm not sure if he was absolutely square on, and the refs are saying that it wasn't chest to chest, but that's really tough. That is a serious move, stepping all the way back off the dribble. And Glenn Cozy's second Basketball Champions League game. And he's finding his feet here in Athens on the biggest stage. And a quick foul. AEK have a foul to give. So seconds remaining. Cozy for 3, blocked by St. Ruse. He's so long and athletic. The perfect man to put on the potential last-second shooter, and that's a great block and the recovery, but time had expired. So an action-packed first half comes to an end. AEK 29, CEZ Nymburk 32. There's the game statistics. 100% from the free throw line still, AEK. Only 21% and 23% from behind the arc, both teams. 10 offensive rebounds for CEZ Nymburk. They're up to their average already. Almost one more rebound, they'll be above it. 5 and 4 turnovers, not bad. 4 blocks for AEK. 2 by Vince Hunter in one play, and Robertson. And game leaders, Machulis, 10 points. St. Ruse, 6 rebounds, a really good looking player. Griffin, 3. Assists and steals, Larentzakis and Ruben 1 each. And here's the scorers: Machulis, Larentzakis and Sakota, Cozy, Burshik and Lawrence for AEK and CEZ Nymburk respectively. So a well-balanced game, highly entertaining and highly skilled from 2 teams, one in second place, the reigning Basketball Champions League champions, and one right at the bottom of this group. But they have made adjustments, and those adjustments and the players that have come in, Glenn Cozy in particular, are making a real impact. Cozy with 5 points and 1 rebound. And Machulis with 10 points, 2 of 5 from the 3-point range. So we'll leave you the highlights, but can I draw your attention to the Basketball Champions League app? You can download it for free, it won't take you long, and you then have access to everything that is Basketball Champions League. Player stats, team stats, some great articles. There's podcasts each week talking about what's happened during the previous week, interview with players and coaches, everything you need to know about the Basketball Champions League. And Cozy's really making CEZ Nymburk tick. And I hope you're enjoying this on livebasketball.tv. It's all your requirements for Basketball Champions League and the FIBA Basketball World Cup qualifiers. But we'll leave you shortly, don't go away. We've got a great game on our hands. Can CEZ Nymburk upset the reigning Basketball Champions League champions on the road in Athens? We're going to find out. See you shortly. Welcome back to AEK in Athens for Basketball Champions League action between AEK Athens and CEZ Nymburk. And CEZ Nymburk on the road and at the bottom of the group are winning by 3 points at the half-time at the bottom of Group C. And AEK Athens at the moment are in second, having been pipped to top spot by Jerusalem winning earlier in this game day window. So what can AEK Athens do to just break down this CEZ Nymburk resistance? Because they have been trading blows throughout the game, and whenever AEK Athens have looked as though they're going to push on and take control of the game, CEZ Nymburk, with these new additions, so they've just picked up Mike Myers, who previously played with Telenet Ostend, and that's a great picture. A great picture of a great picture. Look at that. But this is big moments. AEK Athens will be wanting to go back on the top of Group C. And CEZ Nymburk are in desperation mode now. They made the round of 16 last season in the Basketball Champions League. But AEK have won 2 of their 3 matchups against CEZ Nymburk in Basketball Champions League history. Of course, including that just epic overtime victory, game day 2. But the only game that and there is Dragan Sakota, who was the coach last season, Dusan Sakota's son, Dusan Sakota's father, excuse me. He's now in the front office. And Coach Mankey now doing a really good job with this team. 7 wins after the initial loss on game day 1 to Jerusalem. But the previous game that AEK and CEZ Nymburk have played in Athens, CEZ Nymburk came out victorious. So can they pull off what would be a major upset in this game day 9 window? So AEK Athens, the first couple of minutes is going to be crucial. They need to re-establish themselves. They've done a good job with Vince Hunter, keeping him quiet offensively. He's the only player in the top 5 in points and rebounds per game in the league, in the Basketball Champions League this season. So they've really got to keep him quiet. And then they will give themselves a chance. There is Hunter setting a screen, trying to get loose, but they are recovering. Look at Machulis, so calm. But unfortunately, he couldn't follow it up with a made shot. Burshik, penetrate, kick. Gino Lawrence. Bender, back to Bender. Shots up, long range is good for 3. Peter Bender, 36 years old, 6'8", former Czech National League national team player, and has been with CEZ Nymburk for many years. Semruz, 6-point lead for CEZ Nymburk. Machulis inside to Hunter's, working so hard to get a good look here. He spins. And a great finish right at the shot clock buzzer. Demonstrating all his skill, the 24-year-old former G League player and Avtodor Saratov player in the Champions League back in the first edition of the Basketball Champions League, where he put up good numbers with them as well. Very consistent performer. Laranzakis penetrates, kicks. Semruz for 3 is good. He's such a good all-round player, Semruz. And if he's knocking down his threes as well. Bender again, just off. Semruz Now AEK Athens, after being 6 down, are now back in the lead. One-point lead, and AEK Athens step it up defensively. Boachik really calm and cool as he gave an up fake to St. Ruse, who went flying past him. The lefty, CEZ Nymburk. Griffin, nice pass, and Hunter double clutched. Thought he was going to go up and finish that way above the rim, but that forced him to miss it in the end. Kriz, and a steal by that man, St. Ruse. Great anticipation by the Cuban, former CEZ Nymburk player. Shot short, and Hunter and then Larentzakis get the defensive rebound. Larentzakis guarded by Ruben. 2, and that's offensive foul. Larentzakis, great stand by Gino Lawrence, who's having an outstanding all-round game for CEZ Nymburk. One slide, and that's good enough, I think. Boachik comes out, and Coach Banky, bit of frustration there. 1-point lead for the visitors. Multiple Czech NBL champions. League champions, that is. Bracy Wright. Gino Lawrence back to right, fakes, long 2, is just short, and Machulis saves it. St. Ruse carries on, cutting to the basket, great pass, that's wonderful again, and it's the Griffin-St. Ruse combination that worked so well earlier in the first half. This time he's looking for him, he finds him. Ruben was player watching. You've got to somehow be able to see the man and the ball. What a pass, right behind the head of Ruben, and St. Ruse says thanks very much, I'll finish it and I'll make the 3-point play. It's just so good to see when teams share the ball and players move intelligently and with purpose off the ball. Lawrence with the headband. 2-point lead for AEK. Back and forth we go. Kriz, and a steal by Larentzakis. Bounce pass. Oh, and Hunter again misses. Great save, but this time it's going to be an over and back. I'm not sure what's happened with Hunter. The last couple of possessions, he's gone up, and you think he's going to keep going up, and he just stops, but Hunter gets turned around, but Larentzakis right there in good help position. It was blocked from behind. Ruben with a great block. Maybe Hunter a touch casual there. Petra Bender. Oh, good screen. Right. Oh, that's great defense though. But Bender, they're just getting a bit of luck. They must have practiced extra hard this week, because the more you practice, the luckier you get. And that ball just fell into the hands fortuitously for Petra Bender. Hunter, nice internal pass. And Machulis, I think, was fouled there by Bender. Yeah, Ruben couldn't deal with the size there of Hunter, who just passed it over the top. Smart play by Hunter. And Glenn Cozy's coming in for the visitors. 5 points in the first half. Machulis, 78.9% free throw shooter in the Basketball Champions League this season. And Eugene Lawrence sits down. 4 points, 4 assists, 2 rebounds for the CEZ Nymburk player. His second spell with the club. Obviously had much domestic success with them because they are perennially the league champions and cup champions. Shots up from deep is good. And Glenn Cozy is not missing a beat. Straight in the game, straight on the scoreboard. Machulis, still Machulis. He misses that. And AEK Athens are not having it their own way. There's the 3-point percentages. Both teams under 30%. 29 and 25. Griffin guarded by Cozy, showing him the baseline. Now they switch over. Griffin cuts through. Laranzakis. And again, Vince Hunter can't quite get it to finish off the bounce pass from Laranzakis, but Paterka with the foul. And that will be his third. That's a deep three by Cozy off the assist by Paterka. And Vince Hunter, 56.6% for the free throw line. Sokota comes in, Dusan Sokota. And Hunter did not look comfortable there. He's just got to hold that follow through as long as he can till the ball's through the hoop or hits the ground. Just hold it, hold it. That was better. Young players on the, with Ray from Mays there, young players on the AEK Athens bench. Shots up again, and it's good. It's nothing but net. And Cozy is on a mission to bring CEZ Nymburk an unlikely victory here on the road at the home of the defending Basketball Champions League champions. Sokota, and a whistle. And Bender. That will be his third. They're going to have to make a decision with Petra Bender. Again, it's Vince Hunter. So physical, setting good screens. And Hunter there came out, then recovered or retreated. And Cozy said, well, if you're not going to guard me, I will knock the ball up, knock the ball down. Alex Davis in the game. 21 minutes, 6 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists versus Dijon in game day 8 last week. Shots up. A real quick release. Sokota. With the offensive rebound, and Alex Davis at 6'9" against Sokota 6'10". 100% for the free throw line. And he continues that trend. And he's going to need to keep AEK Athens in touch here. So, Bender out with 3 fouls. Mike Myers in. Good call by coach Camille. High screen. Myers. Shots up by Aruban. He hasn't been able to get going, but they're 2 up. So that's not bad. If he can catch fire, then AEK Athens will have some issues. Laranzakis. Now Aruban has to switch onto Sokota. Good defense, keeping Sokota in front. Shot clock running down. And misses everything, and Cozy snaffles the defensive rebound and straight off on the transition, pulls up. Really hard pull up. He's unstoppable. Glenn Cozy. Remember that name, guys. Polish Cup champion with Polski Kukia Torun. He scored 36 points in the final versus Zielona Góra last season. His most recent team out in Seoul Samsung Thunder.
Okay, so let's create advantages.
And then he moved very recently in the last couple of weeks to CEZ Nymburk, and he's making an immediate impact.
Clear. Let's go, guys. Let's play. Watch out the pressure. Hey, watch out the pressure now, okay? Overcome the pressure and then execute. take a look on the shot clock, okay?
Just a few slightly concerned fans.
You cut
They've
off,
not been used to
Mike.
losing since game day one here.
So you play Bracy, Mike. Don't roll. Pick and cut. Let's go. Okay? 1, 2, 3. So watch. You play pick and roll normally with Mike. He's cutting.
Just going back to Wojciech Rubin, he's made at least one three-pointer in each of his 8 Basketball Champions League appearances, and at the moment he's 0 from 2. And one other thing that they're doing well, CEZ Nymburk, they've been allowing opponents over 40 rebounds a game in the Basketball Champions League, which is the worst in the Champions League, and they're doing a much better job tonight against AEK Athens. And shots up, and that's just no ball movement. Larentzakis was just ended up having to take a off-balance shot. So we'll see how things unfold. And here comes the Rubin attacking, penetrate, kick, Cozy off to the right, and so much physicality underneath. And Mike Myers, I think, called for the foul there. And Rathan Mays in for Larentzakis. Rathan Mays is averaging 9.1 points a game and 4 assists a game. Larentzakis departs. 5 points, 3 assists. And Sakota knocks down the free throw, continues his 100%. 100% at the free throw line. CEZ Nymburk are in team fouls, hence the 2 shots the rest of the way. 2-point lead for CEZ Nymburk. They're 13-0 in their domestic league. They are bottom of Group C. Can they hang on, or are AEK Athens going to overpower them over the 40 minutes or whatever else we might need? Bracy Wright, really good looking player himself, finishes close to the hoop. He's already knocked down a 3. And a quick response by AEK Athens. And Vince Hunter going round the other side of the hoop, and he's fouled. And he's knocked down the free throw. So that's a good sign for AEK Athens if Hunter's making his free throws. Up to this game, he was 56.6%. And he's getting the shooter's touch now as well. So obviously been working on it with the shooting coaches here at AEK Athens. And it's a 2-point lead for CEZ Nymburk. And a steal. Hunter in the open floor. Hunter fouled. Hard foul. Alex Davis, and the crowd enjoyed that. And Hunter stepping out, the big man, number 32. Came across the start of the year last season and helped AEK Athens to the Greek Cup and the Basketball Champions League, the 2nd edition. Tenerife won the first Basketball Champions League. Final 4 held in Tenerife. AEK Athens, that's looking a much better stroke after he missed the first one. Up to 9 points, 5 of 6, 83%. If he was to start getting up around the 70 to 80% mark, he would be even more effective. Bracy Wright, another player who can create his own shot, just like Cozy. They've got a really good looking team now. They've got 4 imports on the floor. And now AEK Athens, 2 points down. Inside, Hunter rips through and finishes with his left hand, or attempts to. And Myers gets the rebound. Racy Wright. He's got some game. That was a good-looking shot too. The former Israeli MVP in the Super League finals for Hapoel Jerusalem, who are also in this group. And Sakota, that's a really tough shot, turning across his shoulder there and finishing with his right hand from the left. Sakota ducks out. Cozy picks up. They're tied at 51 into the last minute of the third quarter. And an offensive foul. And Myers is struggling with the physicality here. Well, he's being too physical, and that's his fourth foul. Or is it his third or his fourth? I would think he's going to have to come out. So, let's have a look. Well, that's a really nice shot by Sakota. That's acting that was in an inadvertent contact. He hasn't swung the elbow there, Myers. Again, if I was coach, Emil, I would be contesting that. I mean, okay. They're having another look. The first look I had at it didn't look much. There was definite contact and a slight leaning towards Hunter by Myers. So correct call. So full court pressure on now by CEZ Nymburk. So Bracy Wright in the game with Glenn Cozy. Pavel Prumpler is in. Pull up from Ratham Mays is short. Defensive rebound is by Bracy Wright. He's looked good for joined CEZ Nymburk this season, Bracy Wright, so another import they've brought in. And Cozy, the most recent of them. Cozy misses. That's a couple of layups he's missed. Now AEK Athens can have the last shot of the third quarter and take a lead into the final 10 minutes. Or will it be the final 10 minutes? Vince Hunter with a big-time slam. Perfectly executed right at the end of the quarter. What a way to finish, folks. That's perfect. Prumpler had no idea he was there. And as he looked round, Hunter was hanging on the rim. Griffin is such a great provider. That's the third top-class assist he's given, and that's great athleticism. And after a couple of misses close in from Hunter, he makes no mistake right there. End of the third, AEK lead, 53-51. And here's the stats. Both teams in the 40% for two, and still in the 20%. AEK only 21% for three, 89% from the free throw line for AEK. And a big reason for that is the excellent free throw shooting tonight of Vince Hunter. 5 of 6 from the free throw line, 11 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. So AEK now have 35 rebounds. The same mark as CEZ Nymburk. The stat I gave you earlier of them allowing teams to have 41.4 rebounds is the exact stat each game, which was the worst record in the league. Can they get enough rebounds themselves, CEZ Nymburk, or is that Vince Hunter alley-oop right at the end of the third going to give AEK Athens the encouragement and the push they need to go on and continue their winning streak, which at the moment is at 7 games. But Glenn Cozy, I feel, and Bracy Wright, maybe Haruban, who's been really quiet, but with the addition of the imports, he's not the go-to guy tonight. But he's doing other things well. He's playing good defense. He's often the playmaker for this team. And at the moment he sits with just 2 points. And Rafa Mays with the foul for AEK Athens. Again, they know Bracy Wright has already had 7 points. He's knocked down. He's got 3 rebounds and assists. Knocked down a 3. And a 2 as well. A couple of 2s. Here we go. Cozy. Oh, that was nearly behind Wright. And that's a foul. And that was so close to being an extraordinary and one. But Sakota bit on the fake. And Bracy with a slight wry smile. And he's just jump stop. Whoops. And Sakota thought he was going to shoot earlier than he actually did. And he couldn't stop his 6'10" frame from fouling Bracy Wright. Wright's a 77.8% free throw shooter. He was the 2015 Israeli Super League Finals MVP at Hapoel Jerusalem. He was an All-Euro Cup second team 2011, and when he was at college, he was a 2005 first team All Big Ten. So he's 34 years old now, so a veteran, but still playing at a high level and playing in the Basketball Champions League this season. That's good play by St. Ruse, former CEZ Nymburk player. Howard St. Ruse. And again, families and young kids, it's just great to have them starting young, and of course the reputation and the love for basketball in this part of the world is evident with the families and the kids. Such a great night out at the Basketball Champions League, and such passion in Greek domestic basketball as well. And AEK Athens now have their nose in front, and St. Ruse against some of his former teammates as well from his time at CEZ Nymburk in the 16-17 Basketball Champions League season, where he averaged 13.2 points a game and 2.5 steals a game, which was #1 in the Basketball Champions League, and he's around that figure again this season, or just below it, and you can see why with the way he gets in the passing lanes. So active. And Ruben is in, Boashik. And Ruben is open, and he knocks down his first 3, and the streak continues. That's at least 1 3-pointer in each of his 9 Basketball Champions League games. Great patience by Ruben. Is he going to start firing on all cylinders for his team in the last quarter? Sakota knocks it down. Massive response from the massive frame of Dusan Sakota. Eugene Lawrence, and that was misread. A little bit of panic there, and that was behind. That pass from St. Ruse was behind his teammate. Now Ruben, he loses the ball. 3 turnovers back to back for each team. That's steals and turnovers. Boashik in the end. Rafa Mays gets fouled. And Boashik comes in, but he's just got him on the side there. Just see a Coach Emil there giving instructions. It's his birthday today, 47 years old. And happy birthday to all those people out there that have their birthday today, and that includes me. And what a treat it is for me to be covering this fantastic matchup. AEK Athens versus CEZ Nymburk in the Basketball Champions League. There he is. And there is Luka Banki. Just really marshalling his troops. They're having a difficult night dealing with CEZ Nymburk. New players coming in, a little bit more difficult to scout. The likes of Cozy. Myers has had a lesser impact. But when they've got the right players on the floor, the chemistry's been good for CEZ Nymburk, and they've given AEK Athens all they can handle. St. Ruse into Sakota, and off one leg. That is high-level individual offensive play in the post. Sakota, Eugene Lawrence. And that's going to be a tough finish. No good. And now AEK can stretch. They got numbers. Raythan Mays pulls it out. Sakota for three. Oh my! Dusan Sakota catches, shoots, knocks down the three, and it's a quick timeout for CEZ Nymburk. Sakota, that is brilliant. And he kept the ball so high, never took it down. And this is the other time that he hurt CEZ Nymburk against the much smaller Gino Lawrence. That's excellent from Sakota. Timeout, CEZ Nymburk.
And then turnover. Control the ball now. Control the ball, Wojta. Don't run like crazy. Control the ball. We have running on fast break, that's good. But if it's like this, 80 don't know what to do. Control, hold. Make sure you play something. We need to show character now.
Yeah, really important words that the birthday boy, Coach Emil, was saying. We've got to show character because this is AEK Athens' biggest lead, and it's come off the back of two brilliant plays. There he is, Dusan Sakota, just one in the post. Realised he had the smaller player in him, Gino Lawrence, who's only 6 foot. And then that three was just brilliant cross-court pass. I think from Laranzakis. And then he's kept the ball up high, so he made full use of his 6'10" height. And it was such a quick release, and it was right on cue. He made big shots in the Basketball Champions League final last year, particularly from behind the arc. He was 3 of 3 from behind the arc. Had 16 points in the final in this arena. And now CEZ Nymburk, 7:30 remaining, have big questions to answer. And there's Rubin, he misses that off right. Big rebound, Sakota. The AEK Athens fans wanted a foul on Lawrence. Offensive foul. And Sakota cannot believe it. And he's got to be careful, very careful. Let's have a look. Oh, that is a big, that's a foul. I know there's a lot of size difference between Sakota and Burchik, but he has wiped him out there, right in front of the refs, right in front of Coach Emil. Rubin, Burchik steps, he's absolutely swarming defense, cross court, quick pass, but now that was a shot needed there. The shot's going up now, and it's good from Burchik. Jaromir Burchik, big time play for a big time player, the Czech international, delivering for his club team there, CEZ Nymburk. What a game. 4 points the lead for the defending Basketball Champions League champions. It's Sakota against Lawrence again. This time Bender comes to help. Cross court, Laranzakis just keeps hold of it. He's got to throw it up. Nearly gets in off the glass. Crazy pass. CEZ Nymburk coming again. Hesitation. And beautiful drop off to Paterka. And just when you thought CEZ Nymburk, well, the crowd thought that was a travel, but the crowd didn't want to see this. Perfect arc. 3-pointer for Burchik. 2-point lead for AEK. Sakota back into the post against the bigger Bender. Vince Hunter liking the free throw line area tonight. Holds his follow through up. And he is big time player. 17.5 points a game. Paterka knocks it down. Both teams red hot. This game is living up to the hype. I just felt CEZ Nymburk were close to really putting on a top performance and maybe surprising some people. Is this the night? Sakota, St. Ruse Raythan Mays attacks, fouled. He just can't get it on the fade to get the M1, but he'll be going to the line for 2 shots. And the crowd, young and old, just living every second of this pulsating game that's just going back and forth. Just when you think AEK Athens have got it, back come Nymburk. Sakota having to come out, he's got blood there. And this is a really close game, so important. Hapoel Jerusalem will be watching on with big interest here. Are CEZ Nymburk going to do them a favour? And because with a CEZ Nymburk win, they will remain, Hapoel Jerusalem will remain top of this group. And of course, Bracy Wright played for Hapoel Jerusalem previously. Raythan Mays short and gets the shooter's roll. 56.5% free throw shooter, Raythan Mays, and he used all of the basket there. 3-point lead for AEK Athens. Can CEZ Nymburk continue their smart offensive play? Barshik is doing it all himself, goes left, spins back, fakes, blocked by Hunter. Well, he's certainly got a piece of it. That's great play. Boashik is a highly skilled player at 6'6", but Hunter just stayed in front and he went left, he slid right, kept his hands up. 5 minutes remaining, just over. AEK Athens to go back to the top of Group C. Oh, great defense, Raythan Mays with help. Griffin keeps hold of the ball. Still Griffin, he's fouled. And a bit of frustration there from Gino Lawrence, who'd had the ball taken off in at one end and then he commits the foul, I believe, on the other. Griffin. He's 100% from the line tonight. And he still is. And they're massive free throws. Just huge percentage they're shooting. 91.6% as a team. There's not many players who've got that percentage individually. And Haruban, premeditated catch and shoot. And Larentzakis just couldn't stop his momentum. The crowd really getting into this. But that is a foul. He just couldn't stop, and that's on the hand after the ball had gone, and it's a good call. Plus he got a bit of his leg as well on the follow through. That's absolutely correct call. No need for Larentzakis or any of the Greek players or AEK Athens players, Greek and otherwise, Lithuanian, American, to be questioning that call. That's his third foul. Gianoulis Larentzakis, Greek international, and from a Greek international to a Czech international, played in the World Cup qualifiers. Of course, Czechoslovakia and Greece Czech Republic and Greece have both qualified for the World Cup in China. Great effort by both teams, and they will grace that competition, which will be on livebasketball.tv starting 31st of August next year. We will be there bringing that to you every game. Vince Hunter, Raythan Mays. Mays pulls up for two, is short. Good box out there by Paterka. And Eugene Lawrence, cross court, extra pass. Ruben for three is good. And just like that, CEZ Nymburk tie the game. The first game between these two Game day 2 in the Czech Republic was unreal. Double overtime. Ruben that night had 40 minutes plus. 25 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists and 3 steals. Is he starting to heat up? And are we heading for more overtime?
As soon as we find an open man, okay? It's clear, guys. Hey,
Coach Banky just
this offense, we go horse up. We enter the 4-man side to make the court bigger.
I want to play, listen. I want you to
Just
play
Coach
one
Banky
down.
just thinking, how can he break this team down, CEZ Nymburk?
Take the ball here. But listen, they collapse. So easy. Just look first, okay? Better will get Vojta. You need to go. Okay? And then pop. Look for them immediately. They're going to be open. 1, 2, 3. And you go for...
And here's the points by quarter, and Nymburk are winning. It's the only quarter they've been ahead. It's been a close game throughout, and we're tied at 69. And this game has been high quality, both sides, some highlight plays, great defense, some errors, some passage of a play when it was error followed by error, and steal followed by steal. But we're set up perfectly with 4 minutes remaining. Machulis, the Lithuanian legend, shows us exactly why. Straight in the game and just attacks the CEZ Nymburk defense and knocks it down. Ruben getting more of the ball now. Just Eugene Lawrence on the floor. Bender for 3 is good! Nothing but net! Petra Bender, what a game! He's averaging 6.6 points a game this season. He's having a massive game. The former Czech international and veteran and long-time servant of CEZ Nymburk. And great in-team defense there, snuffing out Vince Hunter's effort as CEZ Nymburk at the narrowest of leads, 72-71. Bender was there. Across came Ruben and Lawrence watching on as well. Griffin. Machulis comes ball side, across to Hunter. They need to get something going, and there goes Hunter. Hook shot, no good. Tapped away. Good jump there by Ruben. At 6'8". Such an important part of this team and the Czech national team. Boasic gonna post up. Griffin, let's see how this pans out. Shots up and just off for Paterka, and a foul call by Petra Bender. That could be crucial as Nymburk are in team. Hold on, let's see what's happened here. Great protection of the ball there. And it's just great seeing all the kids in here. Got his refreshment and his AEK Athens hat and scarf, and Machulis will go to the line. And what a thrill for these kids, or for the young and old, to see the likes of Jonas Machulis. Such a storied career in international and club basketball. Right from his junior times with the junior teams in Lithuania, right through to representing them in the last World Cup qualifying window. 78.9% free throw shooter coming into this game, and he's right around that tonight. AEK take the lead on the back of those free throws. Nearly 93% free throw shooting from AEK Athens, and that is worthy of winning any game, if that indeed what's happened. Lawrence, he can't get it, misses again. That's 3 he's missed from the left and from the right, but he nearly knocks that loose. He's shooting from below the hoop, and that could be massive, especially if AEK Athens can get something positive here. Larentzakis spins, turns, no! Great move, and look at the young lady there. Total wonderment as Larentzakis increases the AEK Athens lead. And Gino Lawrence Look at this, crossover, spin. Ruben's on him, he's right in his face. And great body control, great core strength there to have that control. And look, whoa. Great job by the camera guys who've been amazing, and the stats team are just amazing every week, giving us all the stats, me and yourselves, all the stats that we need to enjoy the game to its full potential. And of course the players are the focal point, and Gino Lawrence is right in focus now at the line. And he's made both of his 3 throws tonight, came in shooting 94.4%, so he's pretty much automatic from the line. Inside, Machulis gets it knocked loose. Good scrambling defense. Paterka and Lawrence right there. Machulis just couldn't get enough of his hands on that, otherwise he'd have been finishing that right at the hoop. And Coach Amil hoping, is it going to be the biggest birthday present? Maybe an unexpected birthday present for him as he celebrates his 47th birthday today. I'm sure White Catherines have got a lot to say about it, as does Laranzakis, but look at Hunter. Such effort by Vince Hunter. He's in the top 5 rebounders in the league, 7.8 rebounds, top 5 scorers, 17.5 points a game. He's the only player who's in the top 5 in those 2 stats. And the other thing that's even more massive for him and Ike tonight, and nice touch there by Griffin saying, great job, big man, is that he's knocking down his free throws at a massive increase of regularity than previously. Up to tonight, he was only 56.6% free throw shooter. Tonight, he's missed 1. It's a massive improvement. I'm sure the stats guys will show that when they look at Hunter. So now Bracey Wright comes in. I thought that might have been a back cut. That might have been the best. What defense? But now Bracey Wright pulls up, misses. I thought the back cut would have come there with Gino Lawrence. The defense played him all the way up to the halfway line. All the space was in behind, but he didn't back cut. Only telling my kids last night at training to do that if the space is in behind. Machulis, he usually makes the right decision. Turn around, jump shot on the buzzer. And look, there's bodies flying, and it's Hunter again, causing havoc, which he has done ever since he joined AEK Athens, in and around the basket. And it's 21 Alex Davis this time. Davis and Myers have both had problems dealing with Hunter, and he just gives everything he has for this club. 15 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, 3 blocks, and 2 of those blocks were back-to-back in the same play. 3-point lead for Ike. 56 seconds remaining at the OAKA Arena, the Indoor Olympic Hall. And we've got a great matchup here. And are we heading for overtime or more, as we did in game day 2 earlier in the season when Ike won by 1 in the Czech Republic?
Let's play clock. You're going to be the foreman, so you're going to start here. Please check it. Mitchell go. Okay? Bracey starts with the ball. Right? Gino. You play hand off with Gino. Hand off with Bocci. And then Bracey, you're going to get Michi. You're going sorry, Bocci here. Vojta is here. Okay, Vojta. Listen, you are here. Okay? You start with the ball. You pass to Gino, hand off. Okay, you're going to get it. And then they're going to back the clock. They actually find Vojta. Look for Vojta. Play hand off with Gino. 1, 2, 3. You play hand off.
That's a good play, I think, because, and a double-double for Machulis. 15 points, 10 rebounds. And when you've got players like him and Vince Hunter in the lineup, And you've got a good winning formula there, and Hunter will go to the line for 2 shots. But Coach Emil was talking about the play they're going to run. They're looking at maybe a handoff and trying to get Wojciech Ruben. And there's the first miss for a while. He's 7 of 8, he's now 7 of 9, but that is still a huge improvement from the percentage he was shooting coming into this game at 56.6. Can he make the second? Yeah, his stroke looks really good. Now he's getting into the mindset that he's going to make everyone, not hoping it goes in. He believes it, which is great for Ike. Not so good for CEZ Nymburk. 2-possession game now. And have CEZ Nymburk got enough? Great pass from Ruben. Just a beautiful backdoor cut, or just cut round the back of the defence by Peterka. And the 2 Czech international teammates connecting just on cue. Well, how can AEK Athens respond? Larentzakis, who's been excellent as well. Greek international. Griffin running the show. Machulis for 3. Just out. Peterka with another rebound. And it's a 2-point game. Last possession, potentially, to win it maybe. And brace right in and out. They're going to have to foul. And they do. He had such a good look, as Ruben did in the game day 2 epic thriller. He had a chance to win it with a 3 down the stretch. He won't get a better look than that. Bracey right, and they took the good shot, the really good option there, CEZ Nymburk, and this is what's been happening for them. They've just been coming up short in games. Now, this is really magnified for Vince Hunt, and that is perfect. And what I really like about him is he's, after he shoots and the ball is in, he's stepping forward, so all his weight. He's not on his heels, he's on the front part of his feet. He's confident, and I guess at the moment he's visualising that ball going in. Takes his time. That's picture perfect for Vince Hunter, who's adding a new string to his bow by being a top-rated free throw shooter tonight. 10 of 12, 83.33%. Quite extraordinary. And Bracey Wright knows it. He had the potential to put CEZ Nymburk up by 1. But they're down by 4, so it's going to have to be a quick score. They'll be able to advance the ball. Quick score and a foul. Or maybe a 4-point play off a foul on the 3-pointer. So here's the 3-point. Much better now for Nymburk, 38% for 3. They've made a couple of big shots down the stretch. What a thriller here. So many amazing games. And these 2 teams have just served up an unbelievable game back on game day 2. Double overtime at CEZ Nymburk's home floor. And tonight they've been separated by 7 points at the most, but after a timeout when Ike got to 7 points, back came CEZ Nymburk, and now they're 4 down and they need a quick shot. Is a miracle on? Can CEZ Nymburk stop AEK Athens' 7-game winning streak, which will be 8 games if they win this? It's in. Ruben's going to have to put it up. Bracey Wright, same spot, and he's off again. And AEK Athens have been able to prevail in this fantastic encounter. Thrilling basketball. Final score, AEK 80, CEZ Nymburk 76. Just super game by both teams. And AEK Athens showing their class, showing their experience, and behind excellent individual and team performances, they do prevail. There's the stats coming through. AEK get to 44 rebounds. CEZ Nymburk had 40, so Nymburk weren't able to stop a team getting beyond 41.4 rebounds, but they still put up a great effort. Just pick out the stats that you wish. Game leaders, Sakota and Cozy leading the scoring. Machulis with 10 rebounds, Bender with 7, and Griffin with 6 rebounds. And there's the steals, blocks and turnovers, and there's the top scorers. Sakota, Hunter and Machulis, Cozy, Bender and Paterka for AEK, Athens and CEZ Nymburk. And just a superb game. The last game for these teams before the Christmas and New Year break. They will be back in action in the new year in January. But what a superb game. And we'll run through some of the highlights. And that was Ruben. Maybe his lack of offensive output, but he didn't have the offensive opportunities. With the new players they've brought in, he wasn't going to be handling the ball that much. He was 3 of 7 from the field, 2 of 2 from the free throw line for 10 points in the end. 1 assist, but Sakota, there was 2 great plays back to back. That's a beautiful drop off. But Gino Lawrence had a really good game, but he missed 3 point blank layups. And there's Hunter from the free throw line that he really loved. It was really his friend tonight, whereas maybe in previous games he struggled. And there's Paterka coming to the 3-point party. 11 for 30 were CEZ Nymburk, and 6 of 24 were AEK Athens from behind the arc. Machulis there. He got the ball as the ball come over. He looked as though he was going to go left, ripped it through to his right and finished off the glass. And Bender had a really good game. Veteran Czech international and long-time servant at CEZ Nymburk. So it wasn't quite the birthday that Coach Emil wanted, but I've certainly enjoyed bringing this game to you. And the reaction of the young lady there being shown again, and you know, it's just fantastic competition. Superbly organised, played in great arenas, and the top players in the world of basketball are representing their clubs. And there's one of them right there, Dusan Sakota. And that was a brilliant play out of the timeout. For Ruben, they obviously thought he was going to shoot it. They stepped up too much. And Bracey, right, that was the chance to give him the 1-point lead. Open 3-point shot, just couldn't quite do it. And then Vince Hunter, as cool as you like, as he's done all game, knocked down the free throws, and that was with time expiring. Bracey Wright missed again. Similar position to the one he missed, and they could have put them 1 point ahead when they were 2 down. And AEK Athens have prevailed. They return to the top of Group C. This is the standings after 9 games and going into the festive break. AEK are leading, and CEZ Nymburk move up to 7th, but Dijon are still to play. They'll be playing Brose Bamberg, Coach Banky's former team. So I hope you've enjoyed this offering. Do download the Basketball Champions League app. Enjoy the festive period, and I'll see you. There's still games going on tonight. Still plenty of action here on livebasketball.tv. Do tune in, and I'll be seeing you, and you'll be hearing from me in the new year. Good night.